Your final presentation of the day is the ArchivesSpace Integrations Subteam Activities Report. Your presenter from the team is Sarit from the AP Corporate Archives. This session will highlight the ongoing work of the integration subteam, and especially their ArchivesSpace Integrations Survey, which you probably saw come across the listservs today or last night. The intended purpose of this survey is to gather updated and new information about known and available integrations with ArchivesSpace and provide a centralized listing, which will include the intended purposes, links to resources, and other information when available. The integration team plans to launch this survey annually or biannually, but I'll let Sarit talk about it more. Sarit?
Hello, everybody. It's good to see you all. Well, I'm Sarit, digital archivist for the Corporate Archives, and today I'm also wearing a different hat, and that is a member of the TAC team and integration sub-team. This is actually my last year, so it's going to be kind of interesting what happens next year when I don't have this to do anymore. I'll find something. So this year I found myself leading this group actually mid last year, and so, but I'm very proud of what we have done to date and looking forward to this coming year, and I hope you will all take part. Show of hands, anybody here use ArchivesSpace? You never know. And then my other question for you, does anybody use another system that they integrate or need or work with ArchivesSpace in some capacity? Okay, so the majority of us do some kind of integration or a plugin, whatever. So just to let you know what our group does, because you may be like, what do you do? The actual development, the actual integration, tell us how to do it. Well, no. So we maintain the public pages for integrations, which provides resources. We assemble those resources, and we're getting into the surveying business. A couple of years ago, several years ago, the pandemic's fuzzy in my brain with the timetable, there was another survey, I think just before I joined TAC. But the results were put up on the main page, and it was this big table, and it was a lot of work put into it, and I applaud everyone who's done it. And now the goal was to improve upon that and make it more readable, but we needed more information. What we don't do is we don't do development. We don't make recommendations. It's up to you what you want to use, and we don't do any kind of testing. Why am I telling you that? For those of you who are resisting applying to be a TAC member, you don't need to be technically inclined to be on TAC. I know this. So my little plug-in for Join Up. All right. So anybody here ever visit Confluence pages? Great. So you're familiar. So these are the integration pages on the ArchivesSpace public site. And we have updated them so they're a little bit more user-friendly. And as you can see here, that's a table of contents to the child pages for integrations. And you can get to them through the navigation pane right there. So each of these pages have different types of information, methods, types, and why integrate. And the big part that we've been working on is the integration scenarios. We've created these categories, which were there, but with the help of Christine, we made sure that they were more in line and systematic throughout or universal throughout the whole place. We also created new pages where we broke them, all the integrations we know about, into these categories. And each of these pages has the description of what the category is. We put the data into those new tables, and we'll talk about it in a minute. And this is the other page that talks about how to propose integrations. This was pre-existing, so, and will be under review to make sure that if there's anything that needs to be updated. And this is the kind of work that we are doing. This morning, the announcement went out that we have a new survey. It's very different from the last one. It might seem a little bit longer, but we've tried to improve upon it. It will be running from today to the end of November. At this moment, it'll either be annually or biennially. We're still determining that. It is dependent upon your input for its success and for the information to be available to the wider community. The more of you who respond, the more information we have. Now, one of the things we wanted to do was make sure that this was very inclusive. So users, administrators, and developers, the whole survey is designed that everybody should be able to answer. The lists on the page are not exhaustive, but that's because we're not going out and developing integrations. These are the lists where you can find the link to the survey, or you can just contact me and I'll be happy to give it to you. All right, I just wanted to give you a little look at the new survey. When you come to the survey, it will have this introduction here. Just to give you some little bit of information, we have accessible links that will take you to the public pages if you have any questions. And I also have a note there, or we put in a note, that you will want to gather some information before completing the survey. So make sure you take a look at that to prepare for this survey. And to give you an idea of what it looks like, it collects your demographics, it has drop-down lists. You don't have to type in all this information. We just wanted to standardize this so that it was easy, plug and play. And you will go through a couple of questions on whether or not you even use ArchivesSpace, because who knows? We provide you with a list of ones we already know and ask you if you have any further information. Then you have the option to report a different integration that we may not know about, and to tell us who you are, any resources available, and then we ask you some information, but we provide you with the drop-down. So you don't have to create your whole new thing. You don't have to imagine it on your own. And these are the categories, and that way, when everything comes to us, it's easy plug and play to update the pages. So, back to the pages. What we will do with the survey data. This is a new table we created, and the data will go in here. Sorry, the mask is just making it hard to, it's a heavy mask. So the purpose behind this table, the redesigning of this table, was that we wanted it to be much more focused on the system itself, not the reporter so much. Because everybody uses each system differently or with some modification. So what we did is this top part is about the program, the system that's integrated. And down here, in the middle section there, is it with the resource information, links to the resources. So if it changes, it gets updated, there's additional ones, we can just plug it in. But it's down here, we have the implementer information. Basic. If you want to give us contact, I know this is public already, so thank you, Joshua, for your name. Somebody else, like you may be interested in OnBase, let me contact Joshua. He may not have developed it, which he did, but he might be able to help you figure out what you want, what you don't want, how they do it, how they don't do it. But at least we're trying to make this part a little bit less prescriptive, just generic data about the system, and you can find out how different people use it, because everyone uses it differently. So we don't anticipate the data being ready until after the new year, since we'll be closing November 30th, and then the holidays. Everybody goes on break, most of us. I do want, though, you to know that we have a nice group. Myself, I'm the lead this year. Elizabeth Dunham, who is the vice lead. Austin Munsell and Paige Monlux. And together, we are working on making sure that this is all available for you, for those who have questions on any kind of system that integrates with ArchivesSpace. Thank you. After this, please fill out the survey.
All right, any questions for Sarit? You better fill out the survey now. Yeah. All right. Okay, thank you, Sarit. If there aren't any more questions, we'll go ahead and move into